First, we're gonna set this whole pot in there for the depth. And if you can see, there's something you need to know about planting fruit trees. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papaw's place. Guys, this morning we're about to plant us some plum trees and some peach trees. I got a red plum we're going to put down there on that end I set out. And then we got them, I think you pronounce that mantley. I'll put it in the screen here. A mantley is a red eating plum. Then we got a red glow peach tree and a rusting peach tree. And then actually when I got out here this morning mowing this spot right here, I got place for 2 more trees back there and 1 more down there. So we're probably gonna make a run to the corner market and see if we can find 3 more trees. I've lived here all these years, and I tried to buy this lot next door to me before they sold this house, but the people that had it wouldn't split it up and sell me just the lot. So I got a nice older gentleman, very nice couple that lives next door, and I asked him about selling this lot, and he said, what you want to do with it? And I said, I want to put some fruit trees out here, at least 1 line down through there. He said, well, you just put your fruit trees right out there and we'll just have some fruit to eat. So now I ain't got enough room on my 4 acres over there without having to cut down some oak trees or something. I got 2 apple trees, a pear tree, 3 fig trees, and then all my gardening stuff. But now we've been to get us some peach trees and plum trees, and I don't know what else the other 3 gonna be. But I'm just making a line right down here. And I told him I would keep that mowed all the way past these trees. He wouldn't have to worry about it. So I'm finna turn around and I'm gonna get my peach trees set out, and I'm gonna go get me some compost, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you how I go about planting trees. I ain't saying I'm the expert or nothing at it, but I'm gonna just show you how I like to plant a tree. Now I will say I'm late in the game doing this. These trees should have been planted right after the last freeze, which been about 6 weeks ago. But I think it's still early enough. If I stay on my game and wagging my water out here to them and don't let them get dry, I think they're gonna be all right. But these trees here, especially this red glow peach tree, this thing's 10 foot tall. So it's gonna get the top cut out of it, and I'll show y'all what I'm gonna do, because I want mine to grow like an orchard where they just fan out and low growing trees. I don't want no big tall tree that you can't get your fruit out of the top of. So let me get my trees set out and go get my other stuff gathered up, and we'll come back and plant a tree. Well, I think I got everything I need. I got the most important thing right here anyway, another swig of coffee. I got us some compost, some little hand tools to work with. First we're gonna dig us a hole, but I like digging a hole about 6 inches bigger than the pot that tree's in. Now the reason I like digging my hole bigger than the pot that it's in So whatever roots it's got, I can fan them out and they can start growing quicker into this native soil, which I'll put a lot of it back in there. The one good thing, we got 1.5 inches rain yesterday. And day after tomorrow, they hollering for 2 more days of rain again. So that ought to help me out since I'm late getting the trees planted. Y'all can see we in some good clay soil right here on this ridge. Alright guys, I got my hole dug and you can see I kind of tapered it out on the top. First we're going to set this whole pot in there for the depth. And if you can see, there's something you need to know about planting fruit trees. I don't know the percentage, I'm going to just say 80% of your fruit trees nowadays is grafted onto a rootstock. If you plant this, you need to plant your trees, fruit trees, the depth they are in the pot you get them in. If you mess up and get this right here, you can see where that's grafted onto there. If you get that below the soil, and you start growing a limb or something out of that rootstock, ain't no telling what kind of tree you may end up with. They take a limb off of this here's the red plum, the red June plum, and they graft it onto a rootstock of something else. So you got to make sure that's going to be above. So that's why I always say plant it the depth it is in the pot, and make sure if you ever see a limb or something growing below that, you cut it off. So I'm going to put me a little compost in the bottom of my hole. And I don't like filling the whole thing up with compost. I'm going to take some of my good native soil, pack that down. Then you can use your shovel handle to put across there to see if you need to come on up. See, I still need to come up about 3 more inches. So we're going to take our native soil, some of this here, break it up and put it down in there. Try to get the grass out of it. But I'd rather my hole, especially in hard clay, be dug deeper and then put soil back in it so your roots can start growing into that soft soil instead of this hard clay. But the good thing that helps me out here is all the rains we've been getting lately. Got rain yesterday and rain coming in a couple more days. Now I think we're ready to pull it out of the pot. There's the root system. So I'm going to use the same stuff out of the pot, but then I'm going to try to spread my roots out, fan them out the best I can. Stand that tree up, and like I said, make dang sure that rootstock's above the tree. And I'm thinking I need to come on up. I'd rather mine be sticking up further. So now I think we're good. I'll fan these roots out the best I can. Then I'm going to start coming in back with some of my native soil. because I want to put the compost around the outside so your roots will start growing and start looking for more nutrition instead of sitting there growing in that compost. Now after I get a good layer of this around there on top of it, then I can finish filling the hole up with the compost if I need to. But I'd rather use the native soil if you got enough. I brought hand tools out here, but I like using just my hands. Pack it down real good. Make sure you ain't got no air gaps in there. We're gonna take this clay with this grass on it and basically build a berm around it. So when I pour water in there, it'll hold the water. Now I'm gonna rake some of this other area, kind of level it up around here, make it look better. So when I mow, I won't be hitting no clumps of dry clay. Now y'all see I got my berm around here. I'm finna put some more compost in here, about 1.5 inches. And that'll give me about 3 inches sticking above before you get to where that's grafted onto that rootstock. Also, I'm gonna fan some of this compost around the outside of that berm, just so it rains, nutrients are soaked down into the soil. And as it rains and the nutrients soak down into the soil, your roots will keep growing out, trying to get more nutrients. But if you leave your swale around your fruit trees or trees when you plant them, you can come through and just fill that up with water right down through there, fill them all up, turn around, it'd be drained back, fill them up again when it comes time to water. Holds that water in there so it makes it soak down instead of running off. Because the first year of planting a tree like this, you got to stay on top of watering them. Now I'm gonna leave this pot sitting here till I make a tag and put on here. Then I'm gonna back off over here. I'm gonna put a stake up. I don't like driving my stakes right beside it through the roots. That's why my stake's angling like this. But I did forget to bring my string. Now I tie that tree like that. That way of staying tree straight, but yet my stake ain't right through the main roots. You put it up there, you might bust off one of your main roots. These trees need all the roots they got right now. Now, right now what I'm gonna do is take my snippers, because I want these trees, I don't want them to grow tall straight up. I want them to fan out. And that's something that's gonna come within 3 years. So you got a good branch here, some branches here, branches here. You got 3 good branches right here, 4. So I'm gonna nip the top off right there. Then that tree ought to start fanning out as it grows and putting more of its energy into growing these branches going out. Now, I used hydrogen peroxide on my nippers here before I did that. And guys, that's all it is to it. Go get my string so I can tie it. Get my marker to write on this stake what it is, and get my water put in this hole. But again, one of the main things you want to remember is don't plant that where it's grafted below the soil. Or whatever starts growing below there ain't gonna be the tree you purchased. So I hope that helps some of you out. Maybe you want to plant you some trees. Like I said, I'm running a little late getting these planted this year, but with all the rain, they're gonna do all right as long as I don't mess up and not keep them watered. But I got my little water wagons. I can set my tote of water in there and come down through here and just pour them in this berm. By the time I go to that end, come back, this one will be soaked up. Do it again. Put about 2 gallons every 3 days when it ain't getting no rain. I don't put no fertilizer or nothing in the hole. Just utilizing the compost. And next spring, then it'll get some fertilizer sprinkled around the tree in the spring. But I hope that helped some of you out. If it did, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment, ask a question. Like I said, I ain't no pro at this. I just seem to have good luck when I plant stuff like this. But as always, hope y'all have a great day and a blessed week. God bless. See y'all next time.